Hello everybody and welcome back to the Jack Ashton Racing Coco Beach Park Championship here in the MX5s, brought to you by Jack Ashton Racing. It is round 4, event 4 if you like, and races 7 and 8 coming to you this afternoon live on the JPB YouTube channel with myself, Ewan, and James Parfitt once again. I've been looking forward to this round for a while, James. I know your round that you were looking forward to is already gone at Tsukuba, but it did deliver decent racing, so I'll give you that. But this circuit is strange. Look at the track map up there. In towards turn 1, you sort of, it's flat out basically, but you've got to be thinking about turn 2 immediately as you're turning and braking. Then you're going under a bridge through 3 right-handers, then going back over that bridge, over the other side, back down the hill for a couple of twisty bits towards the end of the lap. I don't know how much you've driven this circuit, James, or if you know much about it, but it sadly doesn't exist anymore. It's a fantastically weird circuit, though, down in Australia, and I'm looking forward to seeing how the MX-5s get round here today.
I have driven this circuit, and I drove it in a V8 supercar, Gen 2. I will say it's very difficult. Turn 1, you've got to turn at the sweeper and brake for Coca-Cola corner all at the same time, which is turn number 2. Very difficult to do when you're braking and turning. Not the most easiest thing. The circuit, you are right, does no longer exist. It is now an official housing estate in Australia. So unfortunately, the great circuit has gone and dissipated away, and it closed in 2010. Going to be an interesting one. Could really suit the MX-5s. It's not a round I've been looking forward to, I think, on this one. But I think it could really suit these cars, and I think we could be in for an absolute classic of a race.
Certainly could. It held V8 supercars, as you mentioned, you drove around here. They used to drive here, V8 supercars, very, very often indeed. The first event held here was in 1971, and all the way to 2008 they held events here, right up until that point as well. At some points during the latter part of those years, they did hold the championship finale as well, which was always very exciting. In the sort of mid to late 2000s, but no longer, unfortunately, as the events eventually went away from this circuit. Unfortunately, even World Superbikes have been here in the past, but it's good that we've still got it in our racing. One of the great things about sim racing, we can do things that you can't in real life. And you can't drive around this circuit anymore, not at this speed anyway, no. Without crashing into someone's front lawn.
Yes, so, you'll end up in their living room.
Yes. So thankfully, we don't have to crash into anyone's living room, and we can still enjoy the circuit here in iRacing, which is a great thing. Matt Warner has currently got the fastest time. He's just over a tenth ahead of Joe Singleton, who won a race last week, the second race at Tsukuba. So we'll be looking to go and do that again, I would imagine. But in the little point system we've got, Warner is at the top. He's the only driver to have scored more than 3 points. He's on 5, and he's currently top of the point standings, although it doesn't really give you anything in this series. The driver of the day is what they're searching for, and that's decided by us with help from anyone in YouTube who wants to help us out. But Matt Warner's been having a good season, and it looks like he is going to start this event from pole.
Yeah, 1:14.870 for Matt. He's done his 3 laps, of course. They get 3 laps to go in qualifying. Ben Gregory's not got a lap time on the board. Well, he has, but it's a 1:18.002. Tom Weston down there as well. Not quite sure why Tom's livery's decided that it doesn't want to load up. I will try and resurrect that, or correct that, I should say. At the same time, George Metacost out there, Tommy Patero and Ian Knox are left out there to go. So let's see how these guys get on. I think this could be very, very interesting. Now, this is the turn 1 we were talking about. You can see as he's coming into the sweep. Oh, no, he's not. He's going to stop, isn't he?
Not going to do it.
No, he's not going to do it. All right, then. Well, we just missed it with here. But this is the part of going up over the bridge. Now, they've got this fast right-hander at the top. You kind of sort of almost lift, let it settle, and then go again. Then you're instantly trying to get it turned to the right-hander. They've got to get it down in that dip. They've got to take that curve. It's imperative, otherwise they're not going to make it. This is the interesting part coming up, because they've got the fast left-hander. But then as you come into this, you've got the blind apron, this blind chicane. Now you point it at that tree in front of us and hope that you're going in the right direction. It's almost like Road Atlanta when you're going up through turn 1. You're pointing it at the trees and hope that the turning works. But that's how it is, and it's a tough track, and it should be an interesting one.
It is a tough track. I think that the slower speed of these cars actually helps, especially in comparison to a V8 supercar that you might go around here with. So yeah, we'll see how it goes this afternoon. It's Matt Warner who is on pole, though, ahead of Joel Singleton, with Ian Knox and Tommy Patero in the top four. Theofanopoulos, sorry, is in fifth place, ahead of Gaetano Cesare. Then it's Valdes Fonsevius, who was quite fast in practice, but only seventh in qualifying. George Metakos just behind him. Eric Orchin and then Woden Petkovic is rounding out the top 10. Then Andrew Ogley and Darren Nunn on the sixth row, ahead of Jerry Werner, I should say, and Tom Weston. Then Ben Gregory and Dean Sargent, who didn't set a time, neither did Jimmy Ewan, and so he is at the back. Oh, those two are at the back, I should say. There they are, all on the front straight. Almost ready to go. 17 of them on the grid this time around. There's Warner in the lime green, who just gets himself onto the pole position on the left-hand side. He's looking for a good start, but he's on the outside for turn 1 and 2 here with the way that they line up at Oran Park. So he will need a very good start indeed. Alongside him, Joel Singleton, who was involved in the leading battle in the first race at Tsukuba, but had an incident and so dropped all the way down and was able to capitalise on all of that in race 2 as he started quite up towards the front and was able to take the win in that second race. Only Tommy Patero is the one we're waiting for at the moment, and he now gets himself onto the grid, so we are ready to go. First race of the day, round 7 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship here in the MX-5s at Oran Park. Oh, it's not a good stop. He barely gets going at all there. And Warner's going to be right down towards the back. He's still not going. He's been avoided by everybody. Thankfully, that was pretty close as Joel Singleton takes the lead in towards turn number 1 and then 2, of course, up down on the brakes, left-handed, and he will consolidate the lead. A terrible start for Warner, who is right now at the back, and he's gone back to pit lane as well. Yeah,
Theofanopoulos and Orchin have also had their own little incidents further back. I've got a funny feeling one of them may have hit Warner. I'm not quite sure which one, but I'm hoping. Oh no! Where's he going? He was going backwards. It was very weird. He was going backwards, wasn't he? And Eric Orchin, I'm hoping that he didn't go and... I've got it. What did he do here as well, Eric, in the middle in that blue? He looks banged up already, so I've got a funny feeling there may have been contact with them. It looks like Woden Petrovic has also had a moment with Jimmy Ewan, and them guys are recovering at the back. But Joel Singleton out in front, currently at this moment coming into the dogleg. Through he goes and coming into Recaro for the first time. Good afternoon, Austin Mains as well. Welcome in.
Yes, welcome this afternoon. It's good to have you along. Ogley and Gregory, by the way, seem to have come into contact down at turn 7 and 8, by the way, as well. This is what happened to them. This is turn 7. Oh no, that's not turn 7. This is turn 7 coming up now. Gregory was having a look at the inside, and he's spun himself out. And as he was slowing down, Ogley was hit by somebody here and goes for a spin. So he was trying to avoid the carnage, but unfortunately got involved in it because he was trying to avoid it in the end. Here's Valdes Fonsevius down the inside of Ian Knox in towards turn 3, just over the other side of the bridge, and he's got it. Valdes Fonsevius already up to second place. I mentioned his practice times because they were a lot quicker than his qualifying times. He seemingly couldn't get it together in that 10-minute session preceding this one, and Fonsevius is showing that now. He's into second place.
Yeah, he has. He's been really good. He's drove so well as well. He took a win last week out, and you know, we were debating whether or not the driver of the day was going to be Valdes, and unfortunately it wasn't. But he has driven so well over this season, so maybe today's the day that Valdes grabs the driver of the day. Austin, I can't answer that question, buddy, to be honest. Mistakes happen, and Matt Warner didn't go anywhere. Theofanopoulos was going backwards, and I got a funny feeling that Eric Orchin hit him. So unfortunately, that's the story, and I can't give you any more details as to why the start took place like it did. Warner, clearly with technical issues, couldn't get it off the line.
Very, very odd, but there you go. Oh, someone coming out the pit lane. That is Eric Orchin, who did indeed hit Theofanopoulos, and that has forced Knox to go in deep there, just slightly distracted into turn 2. And Tommy Patero is going to try and take advantage. He's on the outside for turn 3, though, which might not be the best place to be. It's a very tight right-hander, and Patero can't go around the outside there. He's going to go for the cutback He's got a decent exit towards 4, but he's not going to get the position down there. And Knox survives, but he definitely seemed distracted there by the fact he had to overtake Eric Orchard and put him a lap down.
Yeah, anybody coming out of the pits is always going to be dodgy, and at the end of the day they need to be a little bit more careful, probably hold off coming out just for a little bit until people go through. Cesare and Metakos are also literally nose to tail coming into the left-hander into what was called Momo Corner, and then coming up with this great O'Brien aluminium dog leg. I'm not quite sure where that name come from, but you do kind of aim it, point and shoot and hope it sticks. You can see the action taking place with Knox and Patero up the further up. They're side by side coming out the final corner.
Patero's got it. Knox is going backwards here at the final corner. He clearly didn't get a very good run out of it, and so Patero's through. He can't go back to the racing line though, because Knox is still alongside in towards turn 1. It is a difficult first corner though, and he won't go around the outside there. Further behind, Cesare and Metakos are going nose to tail and not quite side by side. He had a look though, Cesare, and he couldn't quite do it. Metakos round the outside, holds on behind Tom Weston. He's trying to hang on as well from Nunn in 8th place. And then we've got Werner and Sargent for 9th place as well. There's 4 two-car battles going on here inside the top 10, which is good to see, and that's a good run from Cesare. He's got Orchin just up in front in the blue, but just directly in front is good Metakos, who just holds him off there over the bridge and hangs on to the top 5 position.
It's imperative that Metakos did that, because otherwise Cesare was going to go up the inside and it was going to be job done. He's now got to try and get him here as well. He's got to be in the final corner, point it at the tree, now run it straight and hope for the best. There we go, through the left-hander. He can carry so much more speed through there, Cesare. He's got to make sure he can carry that speed. You can see the difference with Metakos. Metakos got through and broke away, so there's a lot more speed to be held there, and Weston has made the most of that. You can see he's closed right back in as well, and now he's going to be putting him under pressure. But Knox and Patero again continuing to fight further up.
Oh dear, that was Knox going a bit deep there into turn 2. I think he is Australian, isn't he, and Knox, so presumably he has some home advantage here. Although,
yeah, I don't know. Unless he drove it round in 2010, you ain't had none.
Exactly, that's what I was thinking about, yeah. But anyway, it was about 15 years ago now, 2010. Scary as that is. Tom Weston is the man we're riding on board with here at the moment, just over the bridge. Not a hugely steep drop off immediately, but you do gently go downhill through the rest of it. Car can run away from you a little bit as you go through these sweepers. This is turns 10 and 11 coming up after 9, of course. That's how numbers work. Here they go through the chicane. And Metakos is under a lot of pressure here, because that's the braking zone coming up the final corner. But Cesare there didn't quite carry enough speed. He has a look up the inside. He's not going to get it. He's going to go deep here. If Weston gets a good run, he'll have a great chance of overtaking here. What a great exit it is. Actually onto the back straight here. He's right in the slipstream now of Cesare, and he might be able to go to the inside. Cesare's wary of him and moves him to the middle of the road. Weston goes for it anyway though. On the inside of turn 1, he's braking early. Cesare was pretty tentative as well. They can't go side by side at full speed through there, and in the end the positions stay the same. Yeah,
just not quite brave enough for Weston. He almost had the run and he could have almost gotten through. Theo Fanopoulos has again had another issue, not too quite sure what the problem is for him, but Weston almost got there. He was alongside. He just needed to be a little bit braver running him into the left-hander. Now obviously if he's not sure what Metakos is going to do, whether or not Metakos is going to leave him the room or he's going to get his nose chopped off, it's a 50-50. It's like winning the lottery when you're alongside drivers if you don't race them every single time. So for Weston, he kind of did the right thing, but he could have been a little bit braver. As you can see up front there, all of them spit up dirt, and Cesare as well, with Metakos tucked in right behind now.
I mean, if the first driver goes off, then you're likely to follow him, to be honest. Bit of tunnel vision there from everybody. Metakos really slowed into the final corner there as he tried not to run into the back of the leader. Or the leader of this group. Sorry, I was distracted by the actual leader, Joel Singleton, because he's now been caught by Valdes Fonserius. Have a look at this. Lithuanian is right there now, half a second, with 7 minutes to go. He has got a good chance of winning this race, but he needs to make this pass now in the remaining laps. Not sure how many we're going to have just left for the moment. However, Parfitt has got a good chance to win this race.
Yeah, he has. He's up 5 places already. Singleton in front, managed to get the start off Warner. We saw what happened to Warner. He went backwards quicker than he went forwards, to be honest. And Theo Fanopoulos was actually going backwards off the grid, which was a very bizarre moment. But it's not the first time I've seen that, and I'm sure it won't be the last that somebody's put their car into reverse and unfortunately has gone backwards on the grid. Valdez now has just got to keep doing what he's been doing already. He's been obviously quicker than Singleton. You can see he's been pulling out tenths over the last, since lap 2 generally. So for him, he's now just got to keep doing the same thing, keep following and now getting that draft. It's strong in these cars. That's the thing for him. It is strong, and he's got to make sure that he can just kind of make the most of it. But Singleton was quicker that lap around.
Yep, just by a tenth of a second. Oh, he's gone wide, though. He's gone wide. And Fonsevius is going to have a chance here. If he was a bit closer, that would have been a golden opportunity to go through. But just me, saved that well, did Singleton. That's the risk you run when you go around turn 1 as fast as possible. You might run wide, and you might not be able to brake in time for turn 2. That was very close, but well saved from Singleton there, who has now got Fonsevius a lot closer behind him.
Yeah, he's closed into half a second. You can see Knox and Patero still going at each other further back. We'll pick up on that. I just want to get to the end of this lap. See where Valdez is quick, see where Singleton is quick. Singleton's got sector 2, Valdez has got sector 1, and now it's going to be coming into sectors 3 after the dog leg. So there we go, 4-6 again for Singleton. But you can see it hasn't really mattered. He's been quicker over the sectors, but yet Valdez has closed the time up. We were half a second, we're now 3 tenths coming into the final one.
Is he going to get a good enough run out the final corner? It is a good run. Singleton slides, and this is going to be Valdez Fonsevius' best chance yet to take the lead of this race in towards turn 1. He's into the slipstream. He's going to look down to the inside here. They're going to run side by side through turn 1, and Singleton has to back out. He's on the outside. His nose was behind, and Valdez Fonsevius completes his run to the front of the field.
Great job, up 6 places. Stunning job there for Valdez. Doing an absolute killer move. He got that inside line. Singleton wasn't brave enough to run it around the outside. Valdez says, thank you very much. 4 minutes to go. 1:14 lap times. Probably going to have about another 3 laps. And then it's going to be game over and Valdez is going to take the win. What's going to be happening down here with Tom Weston and George Metakos? Well, they're still going at each other. And Metakos still managing to hold on. Oh, he will now.
Wide.
Yep.
That helps.
Yep.
Tom Weston there going pretty wide. He looks a bit banged up on the front, doesn't he? Actually, he's
yeah, he has got damage.
A bit.
Yeah, he has got damage. I do wonder where that come from. That seemed to have kicked off a lot from that lap 1 start.
Maybe he hit Ogley as he was slowing down to avoid Ben Gregory spinning around. Maybe it was him who hit Ogley, I don't know. But anyway, Valdez Fonsevius weaving around so much to try and break the slipstream of Singleton that he actually showed in the pit lane for a second there. But he is not. He's still in the lead of this race. Out the final corner come these two, and this is going to be a good run for Weston. Oh, he didn't get the power down as he should have done. Didn't quite get the power down there. And Nunn is right in behind him now. Don't worry about the 4th car in line. That is a lapped car. I think that's Warner, the pole sitter, who is now down at the back all of a sudden. Don't really know what happened to him, but it looked technical on the opening part of this race. He's actually getting involved now. He is quicker than these guys, but it's always a difficult thing to do with 3 minutes to go, especially to get involved in one of these battles. But that's what he's doing. He's now 3rd in this queue.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure how that's going to go down, to be blatantly honest. If you're quick, I get it, but you're kind of interrupting battles when you're a lap car. I know, with it is a full reverse, so it's not going to really make a difference to his placing at this moment in time. He's still going to be on the front row. He's still going to get another bite of the cherry. I probably wouldn't be doing this. That's my point of view on that.
Yes, well, same actually. There's so little time remaining and so little to be gained that I'm not sure that I will be doing it either. But, he's not doing anything wrong, per se, Warner. He's actually so far in front of Nunn already that he actually wouldn't be getting the blue flags anymore. So he is technically abiding by the rules, although I wouldn't be doing this either. So there you go. Werner and Sargent are still pretty close for 9th, by the way, down at the back. They were coming through the middle sector, absolutely nose to tail there as they were going around turn 9. But he's not had a very good final sector, I'm afraid, Sargent, and so he drops back a little bit. Looks like we've got 2 laps to go, 2 minutes to go, 2 laps to go, maybe 3, depending on how far Vanserius is through. But look at this, Metakos under a lot of pressure. Weston almost pushing him there through turn 2. Now he can have a look down the inside turn 3. No, he's so close. I would have thought he'd go for it, but he hasn't. And Warner there almost accidentally ends up down the inside. Now it's a good run for Weston again. He's still not taking advantage of it.
Yeah, I thought we were going to have a Metakos Western incident, and then I thought Warner was just going to go and absolutely turn Western round. Now, that's probably, I know this is for fun, and I know this is just a bit of chuckles, but I can guarantee a racing driver getting turned by a back marker, well, yeah, that wouldn't go down well, regardless of what the race is, to be blatantly honest with you. So Warner does need to be a little bit careful on that one, and Valdez has started the final lap of the race. It looks like Orchin and Cesare have also... Oh, he's there!
Oh, Orchin was in the middle of the road as he had a spin. I think Singleton was involved because he's dropped to 4th place, but he looks undamaged relatively. There's certainly a bit of damage going on at the back now, though. Let's have a look what happened here to Singleton. It is at the final corner. Has he spun on his own? Yes, he's got the power down too early and he's gone for a spin. So Orchin not actually involved in this. He just spun afterwards, and then this is Cesare just in behind Orchin into the final corner. Orchin goes for his own spin. Oh, and he gets hit by Cesare. Now he doesn't know where to go because he's in the middle of the road with an onrushing pack, and Tom Weston just couldn't react in time. Was right in behind the leader of the group, and so couldn't really avoid it. Meanwhile, into that very same final corner comes Valdes Vanserius, up 6 places on where he qualified. It's a stunning drive from the Lithuanian to take another win this season. 7 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship goes to him. Patero 2nd, and Knox will hang on for a home podium in 3rd, ahead of Singleton after that spin on the final lap, or the penultimate lap, I should say, through the final corner.
Yeah, he did manage to hold on for 4th place at least on that one. This is Ogley. He's got Sargent in front. Sargent's trying to get Jerry Werner, but don't think that's going to happen on the run down to the line either, and Ogley will be where he is at the moment. So if Petrick doesn't come back, it's going to be I think it's going to be an Orchin Cesare front row here.
Just hit each other.
Yeah, who's just literally hit each other into the unknown. So there we go. Gregory's through, and Jimmy Nguyen has also gone through.
That is that for race 1 of the afternoon, but still yet to come. And will be a full reverse grid, so just flip this on its head for the grid for race 2. Valdes Vanserius takes the win though, ahead of Tommy Patero, who gets 2nd. Ian Knox on 3rd, ahead of Joel Singleton after that spin on the penultimate corner. George Metakos hung on for a top 5, ahead of Darren Nunn, then Tom Weston, who dropped back with that damage on the final lap. Jerry Werner hung on from Dean Sargent and Andrew Ogley, who rounded out the top 10. Ben Gregory and Jimmy Nguyen were the final cars on the lead lap. Then Gaetano Cesare, Yanis Fiafanopoulos and Matt Warner were all 1 lap down. Eric Orchin was 2 down after that incident-filled race for him. And Wooden Petkovic retired very early on indeed. So there you go. The grid pretty much reversed in its entirety, minus Petkovic. And then we get your grid for race 2. So 15 minutes on the clock again. Oh. Here we go again. But I'm afraid there's a jump start in the background for George Metakos, who's racing down the right-hand side. And he's going to be in the lead, I think. But he's surely jumped the start there. That is unbelievable from him. He's certainly not abided by the rules. Here in towards turn 1. Orchin versus Warner. Orchin really squeezing Warner on the right-hand side there, but Warner goes late on the brakes, round the outside, tries to get the place. Orchin's going to push him out wide though, still side by side through turn 2, and it's going to be inside next time round though for Warner, and he's going to get the position. He pulls in front of Orchin as if to say, this position is mine and you're not having it. Here comes Fiafanopoulos in towards 2nd place. Orchin might be going backwards here in the early laps of this one, but it's a crash in the background. Oh, Sargent's got a lot of damage there. And he's had an incident with Darren Nunn, who's down to 15th place.
Yeah, Joe Singleton's just gone off and into the wall at the same time. Valdez has managed to make his way through. Tom Weston still going at the same time. Gaetano Cesare and Ben Gregory are also still fighting out with Jimmy Newen in the middle. So a lot taking shape over that start. I do want to have a look at that start. I've got a funny feeling it was Metikos that literally come from absolutely nowhere and just watch the car on the left-hand side and then just jumps the start. There he goes and decides, well, that's it. I'm off. See you later. Take care. And he's running in 7th place at the moment, but I'm pretty sure he's going to have to go in pit lane. There he goes.
Yeah, fair play to those behind, by the way, for not also jumping the start. When you see somebody else go on the starting grid, it's very difficult to stop yourself from going as well. So fair play to everybody else for avoiding a jump start. Vansevius versus Weston in towards turn 2. Weston a bit over ambitious there. It's broke too late. He's gone wide, and Vansevius and Knox both go through. That's the 2 podium sitters who've made the best start. Singleton's down at the back. He was 4th, though, of course. Patero is 10th. So at 1st, 2nd, and 3rd, not in the same order, but they're 8th, 9th, and 10th. Only 2 minutes into this second race.
Yeah, Weston's now got Patero in front. Gregory's got Cesare in there. Orchin's still fighting it out. These 4-car battle. You can see Jimmy Ewan in the green. He is chasing down with Ben Gregory. 12 minutes to go, lap 2 already. There's been action all the way through. I can give you a rough idea of some of the people that's been off. Jerry Werner, Tom Weston, Joel Singleton, Darren Nunn also. And then obviously we saw the Metikos drama with his start. But Valdez trying to cut through the field. He's up 9 places already.
He is. Oh, Gregory's gone off. He's gone for a spin. Oh, and everybody's avoided him. Well done. That was very easily going to be a pile up there, but everybody did very well to avoid. Cesare and Orchin, meanwhile, go side by side. Orchin is still inside the top 3 for the moment, and now finally displaced as Cesare gets through, but he was very late on the brakes there. Oh no, it's just very well done. In fact, that wasn't quite as well done though from Jimmy Nguyen, who's got a bit wide. Andrew Ogley will slip through on the inside line, and he goes up to 5th place, head of Nguyen. Then it's Vansevius, who's up to 7th place now in the field, but he's been dived by Ian Knox. What a dive bomb that was into turn 3, and he's got it. Ian Knox maybe does have the local track knowledge. He's down the inside at turn 4, and he's through into 7th place. That was an incredible move.
He come from a long way back. Here we go. You can see he just goes straight up the inside. Valdez has got nowhere to go. And what's worse is he opened up the steering on him as well and gave Valdez even less room on the outside, and then completes it as he's going round the champion curve before they go under the bridge. So yeah, Knox absolutely flying. And Valdez at the moment, he's got to try and come back through. He's got the pace. We've seen him go back through. Clearly got the pace. Up 6 places in round number 1, in race number 1. He's got to have another go now. Up through the green as well as Jimmy Nguyen on the outside. It's all getting a little bit tight here.
It is, and Patero's got the slipstream. They're going to freight train him here, but Sevis is going backwards. Patero in the slipstream. He's going to get this, but is he going to get boxed in here? Julian Goon didn't get a very good run either. Patero has to brake, and so he's actually going to lose the place. But Sevius there. Oh, he's sliding. He's spinning. He's crashing. He's going to go straight into the side of Andrew Ogley into turn 1. He's still going somehow, but he's damaged. Oh, Valdez Vansevius was doing so well in his race to recovery from 16th on the grid. He's down at the back. That incident down at turn 2 is the end of his race, I'm afraid. What a big shame for him and Andrew Ogley, who's down in pit lane as well.
Oh, dude, that grass, you can see he made the move and then just got loose, and it's like, oh, nowhere to go, no chance of nothing. You can't do anything about it. He is just literally gone, and you can see it here, and you can watch almost from Oakley's point of view. He's not going to know nothing about this. You're all of a sudden going to just see this car come into the left hand side. There he comes, and he's just coming and coming and coming, bounces the curb, and then bang, straight into the side of us there as well for Andrew Ogley. He's just an innocent bystander. So many times I've seen that happen, and I've been involved in that as well, and I've paused it sometimes as well, but it's just it's just one of them times, isn't it? To Patero's on an absolute flyer.
And the inside he goes. Oh, he's been hit though by Knox, and Patero's in the wall down outside turn 2. He's going to be damaged there. There's going to be damage there, I'm afraid, for the Finn, and he's going to be back to pit lane. Look at that. His steering's all over the place. He can barely drive, actually. Both his rear tyres and his rear axle is absolutely toast. He has to go back to pit lane as well. Goodness me. Any of the top contenders left now from the opening race in the second. Patero with a great dive bomb initially. Knox wasn't having any of it.
Just kind
was a
of,
bit of
yeah.
But yeah, that's the end of Patero then. And it's only Knox who did well in that first race, who's doing well in the second as well. Here he is, 6th place.
Yeah, we're going to have to get some Dio driver of the days here. If anybody sitting at home has seen somebody they like the look of, or they've seen an overtake that's absolutely amazing. Not going to lie, Knox's dive on Valdez was right up there, but I think it's going to be... We're going to have a look around the grid and see what's gone on here. Someone coming out the pit lane. I think that might have been Valdez. He has come out the pit lane. Unfortunately, he is a lap down, though. Just a lap, but I don't think he's going to quite get to the front. But Orchin's having a good run at this moment in time in race number 2 after his, spectacular crash in race number 1.
Was rather spectacular.
Funny enough, it was with Tom Weston, who drove into him. There we go.
Orchin was the one who hit Theophadopoulos, who went backwards on the start and then spun, and yes, was hit by Tom Weston. So yeah, he had multiple big crashes in the opening race. Now he's got Ian Knox right behind him. He's done well to hang on to the top 5, to be honest, Derek Orchin. His qualifying suggests that he is higher than he otherwise might be at the moment in the field. Oh, that's a bit of a... Oh, I shouldn't have said anything. I'm very sorry. But
why did you speak?
Sorry,
that's it.
It is my job.
But, yeah, it's kind of important.
Anyway, he's down to 6th place. At least he didn't crash. Let's put it that way. He's down to 6th though. As Jimmy and Wynn now is going round the outside of Ben Gregory. Look at this. Through the final corner. He's not quite going to get it, but that was a good effort.
Good a try
from him. Good, very good try, but can't do it. And so battle for 7th continues as Dean Sargent just hangs in behind as well in 9th place, around about where he was in race 1 actually.
Yeah, Sargent, you can see is beat up, as we say. It looks like he's had a bit of a rough journey in race number 2 for Sargent, as Jimmy Newen runs a little bit wide there, and Ben Gregory still under pressure. We've got Weston slowly pulling he's opening gaps over Knox, which I'm quite surprised about. There's no disrespect to Tom, but how quick Knox has been, I am surprised he's opened it up. I thought Knox would have been climbing all over the back of him, but Knox has dropped back to 8 tenths here. Jimmy Newen down 2, but is still probably in the top 10 where he probably might not have expected to be.
Yeah, I think if you've avoided incidents actually in this second race, you've got a very good chance actually of being in the top 10. This has worked so far. He's on board with Ewan, who is 8th for now. Gregory's very early on the brakes at the final corner.
But he gets a slingshot out. There. I think that's the thing. He can brake later like Newen has done, but Gregory got the better exit. So, although me and you, let's face it, no offence, we aren't, drivers. So for us to sit there and say he brakes late, but then his exit is so quick. So maybe he is in the right place for braking. I don't know.
It's difficult. I mean, I think he can still brake later and get that exit that he's getting, actually. Anyway, as you say, who am I to coach someone?
Yeah. Well, let's be real. All right, I drive V8s, Gen 3s, and I suck. So, look, we're triers. I'd like to think we're triers.
I don't remember the last time I drove anything. Probably the summer of 2023.
Was that was in the NASCAR, wasn't it? I saw that race.
That might have been one of my last races, actually. If not the last race. Yeah, I did a bit of NASCAR. Did Spa 24 Hours that summer.
It didn't go well, that NASCAR race, did it?
No. Someone crashed into me when there was no reason at all, and I'm still quite mad about it. Anyway, Knox and Weston, meanwhile, are going side by side towards turn 1, or they're quite close to. Weston's having a look here, but he's not. I didn't think he was going to do it, but he has. Oh, that's a great move down towards the inside of turn 2. Oh. And Tom Weston is up to 4th place ahead of Ian Knox. And he will have to reply now in towards turn 3. He has done this in the past, Knox. A big move down the inside of Van Serious, but not this time. Weston's back up to 4th place. Does look like these two are quite well matched with just 4 minutes to go.
Yeah, Weston's up 7, Knox is up 10. So Weston started down in, what's that, it would have been 11th place for race number 2. So he's done really well climbing up as well. So he could be on my little contenders list.
I'm having real trouble as far as picking a driver of the day goes, but anyway, we'll get to that after the race. If you've got any suggestions, by the way, put them in YouTube chat, and we will consider them alongside our own, as we've got to
Mr.
about
O'Leary
a driver
has
of the
not
day. You can pick for me effectively, YouTube chat, because I haven't got to pick. At the moment, I'm struggling. Weston versus Knox in towards turn 1. As Metakos and Vansevius, by the way, those to tail as well, but that's way down in 13th place. Vansevius, of course, has had a big crash this afternoon. Metakos jumped the start, so he had a trip through pit lane, and even though it's not the longest pit lane, it still cost him time. Oh, Vansevius slides, and he gathers it up again, but he's not going to make the pass. Just less than 3 minutes to go now.
Yeah, both of these are a lap down, and both are, well, I don't know, just out there for a bit of fun, I think, but they're going to have a good old ding-dong. Let's say Metakos just jumped the start by an absolute country mile and then carried on, which I thought was great. You figured he's going to get a penalty, he might as well go in 7th rather than wait and go in at last, I suppose. So Metakos there did the right thing. Valdez, obviously, as we saw his sideways smack over Ogley, and Mr. O'Leary's getting very excited there. Jimmy Newen and Dean Sargent also having a nice little battle.
Yeah, this is for 8th place, and they're catching Gregory as well. That's for 7th, so it's all going on here. There's a lot of chance left in this race for things to change in a lot of places, actually. You can still see 15 of them still in the race. Tommy Patera, unfortunately, doesn't look like he's re-emerged after his crash under the bridge not that long ago. But other than that, everybody's still here. Vansevius versus Metakos in towards turn 1 and 2 is side by side. Vansevius had his big spin. Of course, he was a bit more tentative that time. Oh, bit of contact.
Oh,
but he's
Weston's
through.
come round.
Weston has won. Oh, he's rejoined right in front of Orchard there as well. They weren't side by side, but Weston has gone for a spin. He was a little bit sideways into turn 1, then on the brakes, and he just ran out of grip. And he was hit by Ian Knox. Knox has hit him in the rear left. Let's hope he hasn't got too much damage there, Weston. He did rejoin. Oh, dear, that wasn't very smart at all. That's in front. I think that's in front of Orchard anyway. It was one of the blue cars. And I'm afraid Tom Weston's decent race, it was indeed. Tom Weston's decent race has gone up in smoke there in a very short amount of time. So, meanwhile, Orchard and Sargent are going side by side. Dean Sargent up to 6th place now, which is actually higher than he got into in race 1.
Yeah. I mean, some of these drivers have done really well in race 2. Dean Sargent and Eric Orchard both have got top 10s. Both of them were outside the top 10 going into from race number 1. So both of these guys, you know, have done rather well for Sargent and Orchard. Unfortunately, Orchard would have done better if, well, Weston didn't come onto the track.
But there you go. Not a lot he could have done about that, unfortunately. Theophilopoulos and Cesare probably the closest inside the top 5 at the moment. Those two battling over 2nd place. I am struggling, I've got to say, to pick out someone who's had 2 good races this afternoon. It's very difficult to see anybody who's managed that, unfortunately. But in these final few seconds, it looks like Warner's going to take another win. He's the leader of the small points championship that we've got going on, the only driver to have scored more than 3 points in the opening 3 rounds. And so maybe that will do him some good, but he did finish right at the back in race 1. Out the final corner, and it is going to be Matt Warner who wins race 2 here at Oran Park. 8 of the Coco Beach Bar Championship here this season. Theophilopoulos is going to get on the podium ahead of Cesare. These two both finished way down in race 1, of course. In fact, that's the same story for all of the podium drivers here in race 2. They all finished a long way down in the opening race.
Yeah, Ben Gregory got a 4th place, which is great for him. Jimmy Newen got a 5th. All of these were pretty much outside the top 10, weren't they? If I'm trying to do maths correctly. Yes. From race 1. And then Orchard.
Sargent is the first one who's in the top 10 twice. Orchard didn't manage it. None. Werner Singleton round out the top 10. Singleton did recover to a top 10 at least, but unfortunately his race was, race 2 anyway, was rather over before it began. He's been a bit lonely in this second race. There's Joey Vernet coming out the final corner. He's going to finish in 9th place. But yeah, get your picks in YouTube if you want to select a driver of the day. We've got to, and we're going to have a headache, I've got to say, trying to figure that one out.
Yeah.
So we will attempt that in a few moments' time. But let's do the race results first from this second race. Matt Warner has taken another win ahead of Yanis Theofanopoulos. Qualified well, but didn't have a very good race 1. Gaetano Cesare finishes on the podium with Ben Gregory 4th ahead of Jimmy Ewan. Then it is Dean Sargent 6th place ahead of Eric Orchin. Darren Nunt, Jerry Vernet and Joel Singleton round out the top 10. Ian Knox was 1 lap down, along with Tom Weston, Valdez Vanserius and George Metakos. Andrew Ogley was 2 laps down after contact with Vanserius. Tony Patero retired after his crash under the bridge at the exit of turn 2. And Wooden Petkovic didn't start this second race after retiring on lap 1 of race 1. Well, have you got any ideas here? Because this is, of all the rounds we've done so far, the most difficult to pick the driver of the day, I'd say.
Well, I've got the guys that were outside the top 10 and has recovered to manage to hold on to the position for race number 2. So I've got Orchin, Sargent and Jimmy Ewan.
Right. Those are the only ones who finished in the top 10 twice.
No, they're the ones that Orchin was outside of the top 10, wasn't on the pace, and then obviously has managed to recover to stay inside the top 10 for race number 2. Dean Sargent, the same scenario. He's up 3 places, and Jimmy Ewan was up 1, so he was in 6th, started in 6th for race number 2. So I've got people who have managed to hold on to their position, should we say.
Sargent did finish in the top 10 in race 1 as well, though, didn't he? Did he finish 10th?
No, yeah, he would have been in the final spot, wouldn't he?
Yep.
So
I'm tempted to give it to him, actually, considering that he didn't have necessarily the speed for top 10, but he did manage to get 2 top 10s regardless in both races. I
agree. I think we should go there.
Okay. I think that's as good a pick as any. As we said, those who did well in race 1 generally didn't do very well in race 2.
No.
And there was a part in the middle of the race, wasn't there, where they were dropping like flies. Singleton first, then Valdez Vanserius smashed into Andrew Ogley, then Ian Knox hit Tommy Patero, then Knox had his own incident as well down at the first sector. So it was a difficult race for all of those who did well in race 1, and we haven't really had that so far.
Yeah, so let's bring Dean into the booth and we'll see if he can hear us. Dean, can we get a copy from you, sir? Dean?
It's not looking good.
It's not. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
There you go, Mr.
Yes.
O'Leary.
We can. Welcome, Dean. Good to have you with us. Congratulations on winning our Driver of the Day award. How was your afternoon here at Oran Park?
Yeah, eventful. I think a lot of it helped with everybody else's coming off and what have you. Race 2, I got a good start, but I got spun on the 3rd corner, I think, which put me back down near the back of the grid. But I got up to 6th again, I think it was it?
Yes.
Yeah. So, but no, enjoyed it. Really enjoyed that. The lads we raced with are really good lads. I'm new to iRacing and this sort of racing. I've come from PlayStation and F1, so I'm still learning. Still got a lot to learn.
It is a big step up and a very different thing for sure. How much did you know about Oran Park though heading into this? It's not been a circuit for 15 years in real life, but it has been in iRacing for a very long time. It's not ever been on the F1 calendar, if that's where your background is. How much do you know about this circuit?
I'd been practicing on the official leagues in the MX5s, and one of the tracks that they went to, I think it was last week or the week before, was the shorter version.
Oh,
I think.
I bet that was a horrendous week in officials.
Yeah, it was the shorter version of the track. And then obviously I struggled to start with on this one on turn one. But obviously I'd watched Jack's track guide, which I think are brilliant, great help. And I sussed turn one, and I was catching a lot of people on turn one, but I was losing it out the back of the track. So, but no, really enjoyed it.
Well, it's good that you enjoyed it, and indeed had a good result compared to everybody else. You're one of pretty few drivers actually to have got top 10 in both races, so that's
Right.
part of our reasoning for giving you the driver of the day this afternoon. Is there anyone you'd like to give a shout before we let you go?
Most of the lads, to be honest, are great lads who we race with. More so Jack, because his track guide videos are just a great help for me anyway. They really do help you when you're learning the track and learning the cars. So, I mean, what Jack does is brilliant. It really is.
Yeah, well, congratulations on 2 top 10s this afternoon, Dean, and thanks for coming to chat to us as well.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Dean Sargent there in the top 10 in both races. I like how he said shout out to most of the lads. As if you've got a couple in mind that he doesn't like very much.
Yeah, well, we all have. Let's be real about it. Come on, Mr. O'Leary. We're never friends with all of them.
I'm not trying to stir anything up, but you know, he probably didn't mean it. But that is pretty much it for this round. I enjoyed our part, I've got to say. Lots of incidents and accidents. Pretty difficult to pick out. Nobody really stood out as, shine. I don't want to take anything away from Dean by any means, but nobody shone out way above the rest, like Ian Knox did last week, for example. I thought he was excellent. Knox, unfortunately, a second race that just knocked him back, and I was hesitant to give him 2 weeks in a row anyway, to be honest with you, because otherwise it just looked like a bit of a fan club up here. But anyway, we've given it to Dean, but it was decent racing, fairly incident filmed, but I enjoyed Oran Park this round of the championship. Now just 2 more to go.
Yeah, I said I wasn't generally a fan. I haven't driven this track in a V8, but the racing was good. Yeah, it was incident packed, but hey, it's MX-5s, and that's kind of what we like.
Yes, absolutely. We've got a week off next week because the Daytona 24 Hours in iRacing will be coming to its conclusion in the European split anyway, so everybody will be driving that probably instead of here. So instead, we'll be back on Sunday the 26th of January from Oran Park, where we'll have rounds and races 9 and 10 of the championship. Very much hope that you can join us then. Make sure you subscribe to the JP YouTube channel. Plenty more racing going on in those next 2 weeks, and you'd be more than welcome to join us for those. For now, though, I've been Ewan alongside James Parfitt. Until we see you in 2 weeks' time at Oran Park, it's goodbye for now.